Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. And this is our legend segment. I'm your host, Bobby Butler. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we got a true legend, FSU great, NFL great with us in the great DB room at Florida State, Mr. Terrell Buckley. TBuck, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, thank you. Thank you for that introduction. You're absolutely right. There's a bunch of legends that's played at Doak Campbell, Bobby Butler Field, man. So I appreciate you having me on.
Man, ain't no doubt, man. When I started doing this, I just started the list of people I wanted to show. And of course, you were at the top of the list, right? And so let's talk about it, man. You came from Mississippi, Pascagoula, Mississippi.
Yeah,
that's your hometown. Hey, listen, man. Before we get started, now I heard some junk about you in high school and growing up in Pascagoula. You and Dez going at it.
Yes.
Yeah, he always said, man, he grew up. Y'all was just battling the whole time. He was so happy to play with you in college. So, it's crazy. Kez McCoy.
Yes. Kez and I and Mario Edwards. You talking about Mario?
Right.
Mario's a little younger than us, but Kez and I grew up together from actually Goshen High School. We didn't have a high school in Goshen. We had to move to go to Pascagoula. We carried that all the way from Baycott Park all the way up to Florida State. And we talking about a quick in and out guy routes with great hands. It was a battle now. Hey,
Kez was a bad boy now. He's a bad boy. And so, but that's another thing. We'll talk about that getting down the line, because one of the great things we had going for us at FSU from a defensive back standpoint was a competition we had in practice.
Yes.
Oh, bro, it didn't get any better than that, man.
And that's the thing people don't realize. If you can handle, I had that group of the Fab Four. And I was battling from Ronald Lewis and Lawrence Dawsey, Ruthless Saint, Terry Anthony, and then here comes Shannon Baker,
right?
Part of my freshman class with E.T. Eric Terrell.
Oh,
I
man.
go on and on. Them guys, man. If you just like, I can hang in here and take care of my business with these guys, I know I'm gonna be all right.
You're gonna be all right on Saturday, right? Exactly. Yeah. So, man, let me ask you this question, because from a development standpoint, how old were you when you started playing ball?
From organized ball or playing ball, I think
organized ball. Organized ball.
6, 7 years old.
Wow.
I was very young. I was my dad played semi-pro. My uncle played at Jackson State, HBC. All my uncles played something. So I was always involved in sports from when I can remember.
Wow. Bro, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Growing up in South Florida, Mississippi, the same kind of Southern Mississippi, Southern Alabama, Southern Georgia, Southern Florida, man. We played a lot of street ball. Yes. I got a lot of reps. But before I started playing organized ball when I was 9. Man, you talking about reps. And see, when you were a kid, I'm quite sure you had some of the same dynamics going on I did. I was small, but I could outrun everybody.
Yes.
And so what that did was put me in the game with older kids, right? And so then I developed toughness, because they're going to knock you down. You start that crying, they're going to pick up and say, ain't no sisters out here. You know how it was. And so you had to stand up and play. And I did all that before I played Pop Warner football.
Yes.
But when I showed up the first day in Pop Warner and put on pads, I knew what to do with the football.
Absolutely, 100% of that. My growing up, obviously, said in Columbia, Mississippi, and Expo, playing out there in the yard with my uncles. My nickname was Duck, believe it or not, when I was growing up. I could chase the duck. That's how I got my quickness and the mobility from and taking them lumps. Hitting under the AC unit and get back up, getting fired up in the street. You had to go. And
you had to go, man.
100% agreement. That's where you develop your toughness from.
That's where you develop it, man. Well, look, man, I tell parents all the time, there's nothing wrong with your kids playing early if they're ready for it. Every kid's not ready for it. I said, if they're ready for it, let them play. But then as a parent, you got to step back and get out of the way. You got to allow coaches to coach. And if it don't go favorable for your kid, that's okay. You teach them, you start something, you finish it. And in the process of that, the kid is going to get better. If they come home with excuses and complaints, say, look, We're not quitting. You might as well enjoy yourself, because we're going to finish what we start. And I promise you, man, if you make those kids stay with it and don't let them have excuses, and you don't have excuses in the home that, they always hear that you complaining about the coach and all that kind of stuff, your kid can grow up being a pretty good football player.
100%. As a coach right now, I deal with that term about that type of situation at this level, college level. So you guys know I'm up here with at the University of Mississippi. We call ourselves the Land Sharks.
That's right.
We try to get out there on defense and make it happen. But that's the thing, when you get young men that understands hard work and discipline and no excuses, you have something. And something we had to learn when you talked about the size, neither one of us are very big guys, but we have hearts, and you learn how to make plays and play against bigger guys.
Amen.
And being young, I started, I graduated at 17, turned 18.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and then even in the pros, I was 20 playing with grown men turning at 21, but I was used to it because of my background and the toughness and the heart, and not making excuses.
That's cool, man. Hey, listen, man, when you start talking about the league, and because you were the youngest guy to ever return, I think, a punt for a touchdown in the NFL. Right? So, I like to go in an order, but we're going to jump around. Hey, listen, man, I got to tell you this right now. One of the best pictures, one of the best photos I got, I keep it on my desk. My desk is right behind me, right? See all these balls back here? But this picture right here.
Yes. That is awesome.
With me, right in my office. And those are Florida State players. That's when I was playing. Matter of fact, that was my last year at the Falcons, which was your rookie year in Green Bay, right?
Correct.
And so, you got over here, you got Edgar Bennett.
EB.
You got Jesse Stone here, linebacker. You got TBuck right here, 27 right there. You got Leroy Butler right there, Florida State great. You got myself, old man, number 23, and you got Prime Time.
Yes.
And then you got my two boys down here. This is my oldest boy here. He played college basketball, Terrell, and then he played overseas 5 years. And then this is my son, Bryce, the second one.
Yes,
played 6 years in the NFL. So that picture right there, man, it just says it all right there.
That's awesome.
It's the best picture I got. When I got it made, I sent one to Coach Bowden, and I went down to see Coach Bowden. He had it right there on his front desk, sitting on top of his desk. All of us.
You need to get that, man. Get everybody to sign that and get a little picture on that. That is awesome.
Oh, man, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And Jamie Dukes were in the locker room. Jamie was on that team as well.
Yes.
We couldn't find Jamie that day. But look, man, when you left FSU, you won the Jim Thorpe Award. You won the Jack Tatum Award.
Yes, I'm more proud of that.
Man, hey, listen, man. Listen, bro. I was in the league when I first got in the league, Jack was still playing. Listen, man, nobody wanted to go across that middle.
Nobody.
Listen, I'm telling you. And back then, football was football. Wasn't no excuses for nothing. You can hit anything that moves. Well, and Jack Tatum and George Atkinson, man, they roamed that middle for the Oakland Raiders, man. And it was a whole different league back then.
Well, his story, I watch a lot of old tapes too.
Okay.
Man, from the Steelers and coming back, and like I remember, like you said, Jack Tatum, Lester Hayes, guys just bringing that funk, and one of going to how you guys played, how they played it back then was Pittsburgh Steelers going to the Super Bowl, Lynn Swann coming across the middle in the NFC Championship game, and AFC Championship game, getting clubbed and having a concussion.
That's right.
Which obviously now that might get you fined and spending a couple games.
Well, it's almost like you can't have those conversations no more, man.
No, you really can't.
Right. And so, and I think rightfully so, because the game is not played that way no more. You can't glorify those kind of hits and the way things work. But it has a lot to say with the receivers who played that day too. You had to be tough.
Very.
You had to be tough to even get on the field back in those days, because you never knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, and that's where you get, if you look at the money, the TV, and all that. And they want to see kind of probably the model after the NBA, taken from the bad boys and all that rough stuff. Where now it's I want to showcase my skills. And football, for a defensive back, for a corner in today's game, you have to be 3 to 4 times better than a wide receiver because you can't touch them, you can't hit them, You got to beat them to the spot. They can push you to get position to make the catches. You know, I had a ref tell me in college, there's no face guard, correct? So when we play your hands up through your hands up through the receiver hand, and you look at him in the eyes, and he doesn't catch the ball, they still call you for PI. And then they say, well, you weren't looking for the ball. I said, well, there's no face guard. So I don't have to look for the ball in college. Where you touch them, you bump them. So they have an answer when you tell them there is no thing as face guard, such thing as face guard in college ball. I don't have to look for the ball.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, though, man, you think about the job of a defensive back, and particularly a corner. You know, hey, look, we got to be the best athletes on the field.
Yes.
You know, because there's no way we can compete with confidence, you know, if we don't possess that talent. Because at the end of the day, you know, you're going to get some balls caught on you. You know, and when you go out there and they're calling, you know, throwing flags that you don't think should have been called, you still got to line up and play the next play.
Well, that's where, as a coach, and this is what I was telling, talent would get you to the door. Knowledge will get you through the door, and heart, which includes the hard work, will keep you in the house. So you have to be able to combine all those things to have true success. You cannot just be this great athlete with all the rules and all the things stacked against you. What you just talked about. When you have to add that heart, that work ethic, and I call it FBI. You have to have some football intelligence to be successful in this game.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where studying the game comes in. You know, I remember when I was young, when I was in college, it was a different time.
Yes.
So for me, TBuck, I only had to play hard on the perimeter twice a year. When I faced Chris Collinsworth at Florida, you know, he was 6'4", about 215. He was a tall, big guy and had good speed, right? Yes. And then I had to face a guy who played at Mississippi State named Marty McDowell. And, you know, Marty was a dude. And so other than that, the game was so easy for me, right? And then when I got in the league, I thought it was easy because, you know, my first couple of games, man, I'm out here doing it, man. Shoot, man, I belong here. Then all of a sudden, but the thing was, I was so fast that the game was kind of easy until I met this guy named Rick Upchurch, who was wide out for the Broncos. And, you know, everybody they said was fast ended up not being fast. And I get in the game with him thinking, oh, he's going to be just like the rest of them.
Yeah.
Bruh, that bro was running a legit low 4.3, right?
Yeah.
And he had to be about like a 19-year vet. So I was like, oh, wait a minute now. You got to respect these guys, man. You just can't come here thinking you're going to, you know, just do your thing. And, you know, because, and you know this in the NFL, you know, in college, every week, you're not going to have a dude. But in the NFL, you're going to have to play every week.
Yeah, every week.
Because they got somebody who can take you, man.
Yes, and that's what you said. That's where the preparation, the football IQ takes care of all that. So you go in every week, and now even take care of your body. So it is legitimately a full-time job.
Now,
if you want to be successful and have staying power, and not just be, you know, the NFL stands for not for long. College is getting that way too, not for long. You got all the other stuff going on. If you handle all your business like you're supposed to, along with the classes, then you have opportunity to reach your full potential.
Absolutely. And it's not better than that for kids to have the opportunity to reach their full potential.
Yes.
So I just hope that they have the urgency to understand, look, what's at hand right now, right?
Yes,
Right.
correct.
So anyway, let's talk a little bit about FSU, man. When you left FSU, you was the all-time leader in interceptions.
Yes.
Probably still is, right?
Still is.
Still is today.
Still am, I should say.
With
Yes.
21. Bro,
Yes.
that's a lot of picks in college, man.
In 3 years now.
In 3 years. That's what I'm talking about. And you were interception return yards, which was the NCAA record, 501 interception yards.
Still is.
Oh, wow, man.
Yes.
You also tied school records for touchdowns off interceptions returns, which was 4, and you had 3 punt returns. Yes. Now, when we talk about this, TBuck, people got to understand who came right before you now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so to say you led in interception yards and, punt returns and interception touchdowns,
correct.
Prime time just left when you just came in the door.
Yes, it just left.
And he just left.
Just left, and you talking about the image. You talking about trying to fill somebody's shoes, and that Coach Bowden, who we just said rest in peace, was the greatest athlete
what you talking
that he had ever seen. Doing all those things, and you stepping there like, wow. But my approach was Deion is Deion.
Right.
Prime is prime.
Right.
And I've always survived and done things like TBuck does.
Absolutely.
And whatever happens, it happens.
Right.
I always tell people this too. Why there can't be 2, 3 nice guys, nice players, great players.
Right.
Why you always have to rate top and bottom and all that?
Top and bottom, right. Exactly.
And I tell him, Deion did what he did, his way, his style.
Right.
And I'm going to do things my way, my style.
Right.
And both of us, just like with you, all of us can get together and laugh about how we played and what we did. Have a good time together.
Have a great time, man. Have a great time together. But I tell you what it did for me, being an older guy, being in the league, watching Deion play first, and then watching you play. Man, I sit back in the locker room, I talk noise to all the boys.
Yes,
that's what we do. That's what we do right there.
Yes.
So you guys made me proud as an older FSU alum, going through and just watching you guys play, man. It gave me bragging rights for a long time. And even to this day, when we talk about cornerback university, there's a lot of schools want to claim that.
Yeah.
A lot of schools want to claim it. But TBuck, I put it to the paper. I just started writing them all down. From Lee Corso,
yes,
all the way up to current day, bruh. And I started naming names. People say, "Oh, I forgot about him." Oh, yeah, you did. This is what we do, right?
I mean, think about
you can't refute our history from the cornerback position.
And that's the same thing. You think about Antonio Camari, you forget about Corey Samari Roll.
Yeah, man, we can go on and on. Corey Fuller. I mean, we can go on and on, man. And the guys who are playing today, they're doing a great job. Jalen is considered the best corner in the league.
Jalen Ram. I mean, TJ Wade. It was a couple guys too that even when I went back and GA'd at Florida State, you talking about Xavier Rose at one point.
Xavier Rose, right? Exactly.
LaMarcus Joyner, who moved from star to safety, he played corner at Florida State. You got some guys, some dudes that are putting it out. And that I'm so happy and proud to be part of the legacy of Florida State. And I think people should realize when you're part of something that's bigger than you, it's a special thing because you're part of a group that's going to have long-lasting meaning even after you're long gone.
Absolutely, man. And I sit back, man, and I think about before I came to FSU, and matter of fact, the guys who were there when I walked in the door, well, JT was way before me, but Bobby Jackson, I don't know if you know Bojack.
I've heard of Bojack. I've heard about, yes.
Well, Bojack was a guy in front of me. I was a freshman his senior year.
Okay.
And bro, let me tell you, I learned some things from that brother. He was the one. And then he got drafted and by the Jets. He had his senior year, he had a hamstring issue that slowed his play. But I learned some things from him because when he left and went up there as a rookie and was a starter day one in New York. And so here I am starting my sophomore year watching Bojack play. And I'm like, oh man, he done made it. So now that inspired me. He said, look, if I keep working hard, I'm gonna have a shot like Bojack, right?
Yes.
And I worked hard and ended up being a first round pick, in 1981, in that great class of 1981. T-Buck, we had a great class, bro.
Who's on that class? Who's on that class?
Well, I'm just gonna say these names right here, just a few names, and see what you think. LT.
Yes.
Ronnie Lott.
Yes.
Kenneth Easley. Dennis Smith. Hanford Dixon. Walls. Deron Cherry. Mike Singletary. Ricky Jack. I mean, I can go on and on and on, right?
Yes.
Dexter Manley. We were really a defensive draft. We were a heavy defensive draft, even though we had offensive players. But we had a lot of Hall of Famers from our class. Defensive side. Some great players. So, of course, I'm partial to that group, right?
Yes.
So,
well, but anyway, my freshman year playing behind Leroy Butler. Another example you're talking about that should be a Hall of Famer pretty shortly here. I learned from. So that's awesome.
That's cool, man. It don't get no better than that. But okay, so when you left FSU, I mean, you're the best defensive back in the country, hands down. You also played 2 years of baseball at Florida State?
Yes.
Tell me about that, man.
Well, I played 2 years. That's what people don't realize, too, that obviously following Dion, you go through that type of situation where I played baseball, also ran track.
Okay, cool.
So it was something I was drafted in the 15th round out of high school.
Okay.
Offered decent amount of money to give up football, but I didn't obviously being a two-time All-State. The money they was offering, I didn't know a whole lot about money.
Right.
But I knew that wasn't enough.
That wasn't enough money.
That wasn't enough to give up football. I was a two-time All-State player.
I love it, man.
So I came in, I did that, played baseball, played in the summer leagues right there with Florida State. And great time. And then found time to run track also.
Man, that's awesome, man. When I went to Florida State, man, I went as a football player only. And then the end of my sophomore year, we had spring football, and then we had a few, we were on quarter systems. We were not on semesters. Okay. So we were on quarter systems. So we had a few more weeks in school. So we just hanging, man. So we would go to Tully Gym and shoot hoop.
Yep.
And so me and my roommate go to Tully. Nobody's in the gym. We trying to figure out where everybody at. So we go outside and look across the street, and everybody's at the track. I was like, what's going on over there? So we walked to the track, and they were having intramural track. I told my roommate, I said, man, I'm on long jump. He said, man, you can. I said, no, I went down there, man, and jumped and had a great jump. And Coach Roberts was standing by the track. And he saw it. He said, dude, I need you on the track team to jump. I said, now, because we had some real sprinters at Florida State.
Yes.
I said, Coach, I said, I'll jump, but I ain't running. I said, if you talk with Coach Bowden, if he say okay, I'll do it. And so he talked with Coach Bowden, and I was the first guinea pig, so to say. What I had to do, T-Buck, I had to go to football practice. Or if I had a track meet on a Saturday, I had to go scrimmage all morning.
And then
go to the track meet.
Well, that was great about Coach Bowden. He let you do
it. He let me do it. And I was an All-American in track before I was in football.
Look at that.
So look at that. So, all right. So, so I'm happy I had a chance to do it. And it was good to see you do it. It was good to see Prime Time, Dexter Carter, Sammy, all those guys do it after me, man. Because, like I say, after I left, I'm just a cheerleader, man. Yeah. Just you guys the best. So, all right.
And you had, like you said, that's, like you said, again, great thing about Coach Bowden. You had Charlie Ward, you had Brad Johnson, you had Amp Lee. You had guys that
Amp Lee was, man.
Amp Lee. I should tell Amp Lee he had the second best feet on the team behind me.
Hey, Amp Lee cut on the dime, bro.
What did he? Yes.
Boy, he'll make you look stupid. He'll make you look stupid. Anyway, man. Well, look, so all right, so you did that. You had a great
Yeah.
career. You was drafted by the Packers in the
Yes.
first round in 1991.
Yes.
1991 NFL draft. Along with that, you were the 5th overall selection, which was real high.
Yes, correct.
Which was a real draft, and so you had a great NFL career. You played 3 years with the Packers, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And then you played what, 5 years maybe with
6 with the Dolphins.
6 with the Dolphins. You played the Broncos. You played the Patriots.
Super Bowl, the Patriots.
2 different times, right? And you got that ring, bro.
Got that ring, baby. That
oh my
all
gosh,
that stuff.
man. Oh my God.
All that's
Listen, man.
That's the biggest one.
I played 12 years, man, and didn't even sniff it.
Man.
TBuck, 12 years. And then, you know, after you leave Florida State, the way I performed in college, you know, all my life, Pop Warner, we won the championship every year except one. I played Pop Warner. High school, I played during my 4 years of high school, we played for 3 title games, right? Yeah. And then I come to Florida State, and Florida State just went like that.
Yes.
We were 10-2, won the Tangerine Bowl. My second year, we were 8-3. We didn't even go to bowl my second year. And then my junior year, first undefeated regular season, we were 11-0, lost to Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. My senior year, we were the best team in the country, hands down. We just didn't get a chance to play for the title.
Yes.
So, you know, it was what it was back then under that system. But we did good at Florida State, and then I go to Atlanta, and I lose 9 games my first season.
I know. You didn't know how to act, did you?
Bro, I was not – hey, bro, I was struggling. I mean, I had to talk to you about that off the
Yes, yes.
Bro, it was not easy. I can tell you that right now. But, man, you got in the league, and you did some things, TBuck, that is just undescribable in the NFL. I mean, you had 50 picks, bro.
Yes, yes.
50 picks and didn't make a Pro Bowl?
Didn't make, can you believe that? Listen, was an alternate 5 times.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, man.
You know, and then put together, I tell you this, and I tell them, if my top 5, 6 years in a row, it was unmatched for any other corners that play. I mean, in a bump and run now, this
exactly.
And I wasn't even playing the type of defense that suited my skills.
Oh, wow.
If I was, because I read, I was smart. I to the spot.
You still right.
Fire zone, trap, palms. I'm down there playing bump and run all day against, arguably, from Mike Irvin twice a year to Terry Glenn, rest in peace, to Buffalo, Andre Reed.
Oh, Andre Reed was a monster, bro.
Egg Mold, you know, you playing these guys and they slinging it and throwing it. Come to Atlanta, play the run and gun.
Run and shoot.
The run and shoot.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Andre Rising and guys. So
yeah, man.
It wasn't like, obviously, it's the pros and the Herman Moores you making plays against. As I see these guys going to the Hall of Fame and going to the Pro Bowl. You're saying to yourself, well, what's the issue?
Exactly.
What is the issue? I'm making these guys making plays. I'm making plays.
I'm making plays.
They taking these guys, got the numbers, the same numbers. And so probably, I want to say after I put up, I want to say 98, 99, I had 8 picks, led the league in return yards out of conference.
Right.
Finished 5th. I want to say 5th, somewhere 5th in punt return, I think. And I was on the top 5 defense.
Wow.
So after I didn't make it that year, I just, you know, not that I obviously gave up playing ball. Mentally, I was like, it's something out there obviously I can't control.
Absolutely.
And I'm not gonna worry about it. I started this game. This is my conversation with the Lord. It's like I started this game and I played this game for the love of it. I wanted to have a good time. I never played for the accolades, believe it or not. I just want to impress my teammates.
Right.
I want the O-line, D-line to say, hey man, you're doing a good job out there.
Exactly.
And I got back to that and had a great time. I think the other issue that was Jimmy Johnson was the head coach. During that time. And Jimmy Johnson, I guess, for me, didn't want me to make a Pro Bowl. I don't know if he said anything good about me to help doing that stuff.
Right.
But that was disappointing back then. But as I tell my corners now, numbers don't lie. I don't need. I'm kind of like Chad Johnson. I don't need a gold jacket. I don't need any of that.
Right.
To have my worth. When you put the numbers up against other Hall of Famers,
bruh,
mine right there.
But see, that's what I'm saying, right? So I'm looking at some things, right?
Yeah.
And so I look at your numbers. You had 534 tackles, 50 interceptions, forget the sacks. Who care about the sacks, right?
Yeah.
But you had 2 sacks. And so I started looking at the guys who had 50 or more in the league.
Peer corners.
I gotta say some of these names. Oh, well, I'm gonna name some safeties just because they're in the 50 club, right?
Okay.
All right, and some of them in my class, so I gotta call my classmates out. Like Deron Cherry, he from Rutgers, he's in the 81 class. Donnie Shell, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame, he's safety. A safety should have more picks than a corner. By the way, y'all who listen, right? Asante Samuels.
Yes.
Larry Wilson, who's another safety. Mel Renfro, old cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Champ Bailey.
Yep.
Prime Time. Ty Law. Darryl Green. The late, great Willie Brown. Eric Allen. Aeneas Williams. Pat Fisher. The great Lem Barney, who taught me some lessons, when I was playing. Everson Walls, he's in my class. Mel Blunt. Emmett Thomas. Ronnie Lott, Ed Reed, Charles Wilson, Ken Riley, who deserves to be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yes,
who played college football at FAMU and was a head coach at FAMU at one time. From Bartow, Florida. Got to call him out. Dick Lane, Rod Woodson, and the rest of these guys safety. Bro, you in that group. And in my opinion, you have Hall of Fame numbers.
Yes. Agree.
And so maybe we might get you in there. I would prefer that than a Pro Bowl, right?
Hey, any day. But you know what? Like I said, you got the numbers. I played hard. I think I played and never missed a game, never missed a practice. And that was from the training at Florida State with Coach Bowden and Mickey Andrews and coming through that. So I felt like I played the game the right way.
You did.
And I produced. And the numbers, like you said, numbers don't lie, and that's what I just go by.
Absolutely. Well, bro, you had a great career. I mean, you did it. And you can't. And at the end of the day, I'm with you. When I got in the league, what I wanted to do were 2 things. I wanted to be a Pro Bowler, and I wanted to win that ring. Right. I didn't get any one of them done. I didn't make a Pro Bowl either. And I had some years. I had about 4 or 5 years in my 12 years, TBuck, that hands down. And you can't tell me that I didn't deserve to go.
Yeah.
You can't tell me. But,
popularity contest.
Right. And so it was what it was. And then I never even got a chance. In 12 years in Atlanta, we had great players. I never went in a game thinking that we would lose a game. Sometimes you're on a bad team, you just know, man, we're not going to win today. But man, we had the dudes to win. And in 12 seasons, I played on 1 winning team.
Man.
Now think about that now. 1 winning team. Now I was a rookie in 81. The first winning team I played on was when Dion was with us. That was 1991.
10 years later.
10 years later. Think about that, bro.
And I made the playoff 12 years
straight.
Well, at one point, it was either 11 or 11.
Oh, man.
I think I made it. Jimmy Johnson, my first year at the Packers, we didn't, and I want to say my first year with Jimmy, we didn't. So everything else was
right, man.
Man,
it's tough. It's tough. People don't know from a mental standpoint, bro, how tough that is.
Yes.
When I told you I got to Atlanta first year, man, I mean, I I was out of character, man, because I'd be going off on guys in the locker room throwing helmets at guys, bro.
Yeah.
Getting in fights with my teammates and I was that dude back there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I couldn't understand it. You know, we'll lose a game, I'll be so hurt. You know, I wouldn't talk for 2 days, man.
Yes.
And then they go outside the locker room drinking beer out there in the parking lot, man. I don't understand that, man.
That's a party.
Bro, I'm from Delray Beach, coach.
Yeah.
We win. We don't do that. You know, and so that was going on, man. And it took me through some things, man. It really took me through some things.
It will.
You know, it did. But, you know, I grew up in that too. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I became an old pro. And what I mean by that, I was an old pro. I didn't get excited about anything. I went to work.
Yep.
I make plays. If I get a pick, if I scored a touchdown, I just throw the ball back to a referee. I'm not high-fiving nobody. I'm just numb.
Yeah.
I'm just going to work.
Yep.
And then my buddy came in 1989. Dion came, man. The first game he played in, you know the story.
Yes.
We ran that punt back, man. I was so happy, man. I run from the bench. I ran on the field and jumped on it, right? And so he brought the excitement back to the game for me.
Yes.
You know, and I was his big brother. You know, I call him, he's my little big brother because he did bigger things than me. But age-wise, he's still my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Dion, man, what we used to do, Terrell, we used to get in that meeting room. We used to watch that tape. We break that thing down. I taught him how to study that thing. And I give him some tape to take home. We'll come back and see what you found next day. And we used to get together. And that's one thing I tell people about him. Yeah, he was very athletic. He was a great football player, but he worked hard.
Worked, man.
A lot of people don't know that dude worked.
Yes.
And, you know, he studied tape. You know, when everybody was still clubbing, Dion was home watching reels. And so that's how he got to be so good.
Yes, and I learned that from taking care of your body.
Taking care of your body, man.
Taking care of business, man. Mm-hmm. So that I can say everybody look at the flash and all that.
Right,
but
right.
When you cut them open, you're gonna see heart, you're gonna see flash, you're gonna see some intelligence, and that equals greatness.
He definitely had it all, man. So man, when you stopped playing pro ball, you went into coaching. You knew all along that's what you wanted to do when you stopped playing?
Not at all. I actually, you know, I left early. So I was continuing my education process.
Right.
I did 75 hours when I left. I was only at Florida State 5 semesters now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was it. I was in there and out.
Wow.
And so when I got down to I needed 18 hours, I went back to Florida State in 2007.
Okay.
And you know what happened? Coach Bowden called me in the office.
Oh, you're in the office, man. Yes, sir. Yes,
and I was like, Coach, you know, I got kids. I ain't really, coach. He's like, just come hang around the building. Then Coach Andrews like, well, come on out to practice. And next thing you know, I was on the plane going to the game. I was like, man, y'all got me. So now here I am, 15 years later.
Wow. That's a blessing, man.
That is. And that's all the Coach Bowden, Coach Andrews, and Jimbo. And Jimbo had it.
Jimbo, right. Yeah. Man, that's awesome, man. So you started out right there at Florida State with Coach Bowden.
Right there.
You started at home, bro.
Started at home.
It ain't no place like home, Doc.
No place like home. Drawing them darn cars for Coach Andrews on a certain way. But it was awesome. And I'm forever indebted to obviously Coach Bowden, Coach Andrew, and Jimbo for that, because this has been a terrific ride.
Absolutely, man.
I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Absolutely.
The bad, the ups and downs, all that sideways.
Man.
So it's been good.
Man, I'm happy for you, man. And so you started at Florida State, and then you left and coached for Terry Bowden at Akron.
Yes.
And when you were at Akron, you had a couple guys on the staff with you that you were familiar with, right?
Yes, Coach Amada, Bill. It was like a family affair.
Right, exactly, right. That's cool.
That was good too. We actually all of us lived together for a little while, and then Coach Amada and I went to like a Marriott extended stay place, and we carpool together and did all that.
Right. Oh man, that had to be special, man.
That was
That had
good.
to be special. So you left there after a couple of years, and you went to coach at Mississippi State for a couple of years.
Well, I went to Louisville with Bobby Butler.
That's right. You went to Louisville. That's right.
Went to Louisville for 2, and then came back home to Mississippi to the state. Coming back for the family, trying to get them some games, and the younger kids, introduce them to something different.
Right.
And now I'm currently obviously at University of Mississippi.
Wow.
Still in the state. Still in the state.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Ain't no place like home, Doc. Yeah, no. That's a good thing. So you you're coaching, and I tell you what, the guy who you're coaching with, he's a real offensive minded guy.
Yes, he is.
I mean, he's a play caller. I mean, he's going to go down before it's over as one of the best play callers in the history of college football.
He has a shot. I mean, Work said he studied, obviously his background is in that. It is a challenge for us in practice. But on the defensive side, for me personally, I love that because
absolutely,
by the time we get to the season, we pretty much done seen a season worth of routes and variations and how we're going to make this adjustment. I think it's a wonderful thing to have a coach like that I can go against every day. And he's highly, highly competitive. So I have to make sure that I'm getting myself teaching and everything I'm doing to make sure my players are ready.
Right. That's cool, man. That's cool, man. So, and then you've been really good yourself at recruiting players.
Yeah.
And on top of that, developing some young talent to the NFL, bro. Hey.
Yeah. In 15 years, I have over now about 22 guys I think have signed professional contracts.
Wow, man.
With 3 first rounders, like I mentioned, Xavier Rose, first rounder Patrick Robinson was the first guy working with Florida State. And the latest one has been Jair Alexander from the Packers, who's one of the top corners, probably the second best corner in the league. Jalen Ramsey.
That's right. That's right.
And Cam Dancer over there at Minnesota, who I had at Mississippi State.
That's right, bro. That's right. That's right. That's right.
And currently have, this roster right now, I have a couple guys that.
All right.
It's their time. It's their turn this year. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
That's good. That's good, man. Man, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's nothing like helping young men develop.
Yes.
Helping them develop, seeing their growth in the game. Because it's like they're your children, right?
Yes.
Those are your kids, man. Those are your kids, and man, you want to see them do well, and you hope they take coaching, right? And they take coaching, and they hear my voice. Hey, they got a shot.
Yes, and not only that, and what you said is on point. On the recruiting process, I always tell them, this is what you're going to get. I'm not up and down.
Right.
I'm going to demand the best from you, and I expect the best. If I don't get it, here are the consequences. That is on and off the field.
Right, exactly.
If you ain't doing it in the classroom, I'm not putting you on the field.
Bro, I can't count on you.
If I don't have to worry about you in the classroom or and socially, I'm not going to have to worry about you on the field. So let's understand that this is bigger than just football for me.
That's right.
So don't come here thinking I'm going to be light on you outside of football. I'm going to put my foot on you both ways.
Well, bro, think about it, bro. We know what it takes.
Yes.
And if you come through me, I'm going to give you everything I got.
Everything.
And you're going to have to give me what you got.
Listen, Bobby, they call me the most whiningest, worst room coach they've ever been.
Hey, but let me say this. I got to say this, though. And you tell me how you feel about this, because you played a long time. You got a lot of coaches like I did, right? The guys who coached me and were considered player coaches, I played okay for them. It was those coaches who had their knee in my back, pushing me the whole time.
Yes.
That I played my best for. Coaches who was coaching the details. Every minute thing, getting on my nerves, right?
Yes.
The coaches that got on my nerves end up, when I look back, go, oh, man, I played like that for these guys. I didn't play like that for my buddies. Right.
And that's exactly how I am.
Absolutely.
Detail. Besides that, they said I demonstrate too much. I said, well, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of
you got a
having
coach that can do that.
I come in, I tell them this.
Right.
I believe in you can't play this game if you're not in shape.
Right. That's right.
Because your body, like Lord said, body, your temple.
Right.
In this game, if you can't make the club in the tub.
That's right. Now.
So I come over before they get here. I go get in the hot tub, cold tub. I do Pilates.
Right.
I do a full stretch. And they be like, Coach, you not playing anymore. Why are you doing? Because I might have to put my cleats on one day.
And show you.
and now I don't show them and compete against you. Show you tell you what I'm gonna do to you.
Right.
You know what the receiver gonna do to you. So
exactly.
You know, I demonstrate all the time for them. Every now and then I have to put my cleats on and play wide receiver, and score touchdowns on them to remind at 50. I said, man, you can let a 50-year-old beat you.
I love it. Hey, so it's amazing that you said that, man. My business partner, Buddy Curry. I don't know if you remember Buddy. We came to Tallahassee. We should do football camps in Tallahassee. And we'll do the last day. We'll do these pros versus Joes.
Yes.
And you played in one of those games.
Yes, right? I did.
Hey, TBuck. To this day, when we talk about that game, he talk about you.
Yes.
He talked about you. Said that dude. I said, yeah, that dude had motors even then, right? So I understand what they're going through when you have to show them that, right?
Hey,
you give them the business.
Try to take it to them too.
You give them the business, boy. I love it, man. I love it. So look, man. Let me ask you this in closing. When you chose Florida State, what was it for you? Because I know at that time, Florida State did have some tradition and some strong history, which they didn't have when I came in. But the thing that sold me was Coach Butler. And I couldn't even explain it, why I selected Florida State. I had my friends laugh at me because Florida State won 5 games Coach Butler's first year, and then he recruited my class. And then before he got there, I think the 3 previous years, they only won 4 games in 3 seasons. And so there was no tradition there. And I come from, like I said, I come from Delray Beach. We win. There's a high expectations to win. And to my friends, I couldn't even explain why. But I really bought him.
Yes.
And I really believed he was genuine in what he told me. And I thought I would have a good chance and opportunity there. So that's why I went there. So for you, what was it? Was it
it was Coach Bowden first. Because when my high school coach took us to the camp at Florida State that summer.
Okay.
And so I got a chance. We spent 5 days there.
Oh, wow.
I got a chance to interact with Coach Bowden.
Okay.
And you see a head coach that's really not friendly, that doesn't crack jokes, that don't put his arm around you, don't do that. We had won a state championship in high school.
Okay.
And my head coach, and I won it in middle school, and they was
right. And
I wanted somebody that you could laugh with and talk with.
Right, exactly.
And Coach Bowden presented that. So that was the first, and then Coach Andrews. It was like a combination. Coach Andrews was this fierce guy who had just coached Dion.
Right.
And who didn't want to play and do the things Dion was doing.
Right, exactly.
So it was 1 and then 2A and /2B.
Okay.
Because if I'm looking at like, okay, if this the best player, defensive back, whatever in college ball, and he's been coached, this was his coach.
Right.
Well, I want what he got.
I want what he got. Exactly, man. Exactly.
And then from there, and then you look at the locations on like 4 hours.
Right from home.
You on the other side. I mean, that
was always a selling ticket right there.
Yeah, you had the set. It's like, okay, why not? Let's make this thing happen.
Exactly, man. That's cool, man. That's cool. Well, look, man, that's about our time, man. Hey, man, I'm so happy you came on the show, man. I know you're a busy man, and I'm glad I got a chance to get you on, man. And thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you, man. Always, man. Living legend, Florida State alum. I'm here. That's why I'm here. I appreciate it. Anytime you need anything, let me know.
Well, let's look at this. Let's look at this play real quick.
Woo.
Now, when you make that move, you pause.
Yes.
And then the next thing you know, I hear Coach Bowden say we had the fooler from Pascagoula.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that when he broke out with that. That was the fooler from Pascagoula. I was like, look at Coach Bowden, man.
That's the quintessential Bowden. That's why I went there, Coach.
That's why you went there, man. Quick.
And that name has stood the test of time.
Absolutely. And then, Jeremiah, you got the other reel. Show this one. This play here, man. I was watching this game. You know, I remember watching this game. You know, Michigan was a big town. What were they ranked right then? You remember?
It was 1 and 2 or
1 and 2. Bam! There it is. There it is. Give us some juice. Give us some juice.
And here's the Lambeau Leap.
Boy, look at here. I'll never forget that play, T-Buck, man. That was. I never forget. I was screaming in the room when you snatched that ball. I started screaming. It's over.
It's over, man. 3-step read. You know what that was? Quarterback on the center.
3-step
roll out. Eyes back to the receiver. Get him under control. Find the ball.
Find the ball. And you know what? That play, that happened in the first quarter, right?
Yes, second play of the game.
Second play of the game. But when that happened, that stadium was extremely quiet for the rest of the day.
Yes.
For the rest of the day.
Yes.
1 versus 2. I love it, man. Hey, man, that's awesome. Look, bro, I appreciate you, man. You know, and I'll get you on the show again. We'll come back on again, and maybe we'll get a group of guys, me, you, Dion, and a couple of other guys, and we'll talk about Cornerback University.
Man, that'll be awesome. I appreciate you. You guys, you keep it up. Appreciate the show, man. Anytime, whatever I can do, just let me know.
Well, thank you. Well, guys, that's our show tonight. If you like the video, share it, comment it. This is 100 Yards of Football, and this is our legend segment, and we had the great Terrell Buckley, better known as TBuck, FSU great, NFL great with us tonight. Thank you, man.